the most important part of parenting, I believe, is just being there. Not about being perfect. Not about, you know what I'm saying, being the biggest anything. Just being there. Support. Connection. My thoughts on connection. My thoughts on connection is that it's a beautiful thing when you actually allow yourself to connect. And I've seen some connections in my life that were just like, it was just remarkable to see. Dr. Dre, Snoop, Jordan, Pippen, fucking Batman, Joker, all these things. But in reality, few people that I've met that were in relationships for however long they were, it appeared to look like they had a connection. You know what I'm saying? And what I find is that for me, I've had connections, I'll say, with people I wasn't necessarily in intimate relationships with, and some women that I have had intimate relationships with, but we weren't together, like committed to one another throughout the time. I think it's a lot of my 20s and early 30s just avoiding heartbreak, if you will, living in fear. In all seriousness, just living in fucking fear. Fear of being hurt, fear of hurting her. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much those two things. But I was over the weekend. I was having a conversation, and most of my conversations these days always come with healing, right? And in this healing conversation, I was having with Jay Philly, actually, from the Hip Hop Veterans podcast. Definitely check that one out on YouTube. Hip Hop Veterans. Just type this shit in and look us up. We ain't got but like 4 or 5 episodes, but look us up, niggas. But Jay Philly, he was telling me about this seminar that he had went to. It was dope, right? So he was talking about the aspect of connection and how we are so far from it in today's society about like our cell phones. Like most of us are texting, you know what I mean? Or social media or some shit like that. But actually being able to be in the present moment with somebody, making eye contact. I mean, how many of us can really make eye contact? I mean, for me, I've started making eye contact with just about everybody, because that's still, I didn't realize that was a whole thing of forming a connection. But yeah, I like to make eye contact with people these days. It shows that, a sign of confidence. It shows that, high self-esteem, whatever you want to call it. All these things that I really didn't have. Fake it till you make it, right? And just trying to connect, if you will. And I've been able to, I'll say that now, as far as eye contact, that goes. But the aspect of connect in which they mentioned in the seminar that he shared with me was like allowing ourselves to do so. And I can honestly say that I wasn't allowing myself to connect. I tried to connect with shit I wasn't supposed to be in their voltage, if you know what I mean. Chasing after what doesn't love you. So when you recognize that you're chasing after what doesn't love you, and then you start connecting with people women that very well may be a good connection. You know what I'm saying? But it just doesn't go at times. Sometimes it just doesn't. It just doesn't go as intended, if you will. But I mean, like I said, the aspect of connection and how he explained it to me, I was like, wow, you know, I realized in that moment that for as long as I was addicted to porn, 12 years, I was in a relationship with my goddamn self and just my cell phone, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about conversations on the phone. I'm not talking about being in person. I'm talking about me texting. You know what I mean? And that is practically, it's just me. It's just me in a room. It's me in a computer screen. But for me to be connected, allowing myself to be around others, I was very socially awkward. Because you spend a lot of time alone when it's just you and a couple of ladies that that don't even know you exist on a website, you know what I mean, or looking at nudes and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's all in your mind, but there's no connection to another woman, if you will, and like in person, getting to know them, having conversations, making eye contact, and or FaceTime, phone calls and all those things. I definitely prefer in person. I feel like you can pretty much see me in most of my glory. I mean, I have to warm up to some because I still have like it's almost like a defensive posture with some women, depending on their personalities and shit. If you especially like if you mirror that of what I deem to be is like the masculine woman, yeah, I got full fucking shields out on your ass. Like I'm running you through a ringer in my mind because there's a fear that's coming out and triggered. You know what I'm saying? So I have to protect myself at all times, and that's what the fuck I'm going to do. But what I'm sharing is that connection is so dope, and being able to connect is dope. Right? So what I mean by that is allowing yourself to do so. And I can honestly say a lot of times I wasn't allowing myself to do so for fear, for my own ego, for insecurities, just, feeling like there's always going to be something else out there. And the reason for that is because I felt like I wasn't enough myself. So there was always one more. There's always somebody's got something better than you. And, you live and you learn. And as you go through the process of removing things that you thought were you, that's where you find yourself. So the last epiphany that I had was that I've been this kid acting like an adult instead of being an adult. Let me explain myself. It's like an act. Since I was younger, people pleasing. Shout out to all the real Oscar winners in the world. People pleasers are the greatest actors in the fucking world. Let me tell you, because they can be around you. They can hold a smile while they're dying inside, frowning, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You were taught that your feelings don't matter, right? So you tend to become a chameleon wherever you are. And when you do so, no one could really know how the fuck you feel. And because they don't know how the fuck you feel when you really feel down, there's a sense of resentment that comes in. But I almost got off course, but I'm gonna bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Because I had to, let's say, suppress how I felt on a lot of shit. I decided to be whatever it took to get praise. do whatever it took to get likes from my, validation, really. Like I was saying, I was a kid, like acting. I was a kid acting like an adult. It looked pretty good. I did a lot of things that made people believe that I was like very mature and all these things. But inside, I am like the fucking duck on the pond. Smooth on the top, underneath I'm cracking like shit. Legs kicking, swinging, swangling, all of that. And I'm just trying to survive. I'm just trying to stay afloat. And once I realized that I was trying instead of being, I don't know. I felt the difference in all of it, and realizing that I can just be. I don't have to be anything. Honestly, I'm nothing. You know what I mean? I'm just a human being like anybody else. Like, I don't have to be the biggest this. I don't have to be the best that. I fought hard for a long time. I was trying to be the biggest something. Like thinking I am bigger, like my ego had me convinced I was bigger than myself. So when you get like that, you allow yourself to be taken over by the ego, allowing yourself to get caught up in some shit, things that you're not necessarily prepared for. And then when the motherfucking fire gets too hot, you skate, you run, you're not prepared to deal with stuff. Because underneath, you don't really have the confidence in yourself. So what ends up happening is that you finally reveal who you are, or who you believe you are, and you run scared. And I've had a few moments in my life where I've done so. But I'm now at a place where I've just accepted where I am right now in my journey, and that's enough. Like, I'm perfect just the way I am right now, and I'm loved unconditionally by myself, and that's really what matters. When you can love yourself unconditionally, you don't allow conditions. You don't say, if I just get one more thing, then I'll be happy. And you'll always want one more thing, so you'll never be happy if that's the case. And it's about choosing happiness daily, if you will. And sometimes we get sidetracked. We do. We get sidetracked as people when we feel like we hot shit. And we feel like we're bigger than what the fuck we really are. And, just being human is enough, man. Like, being human is holding doors for people. Saying kind words to individuals. You never know who might need it. You know what I mean? Sending positive and motivating text messages to people that we love and value. Dropping cookies off and shit at people's houses and ringing the doorbell, walking the fuck away, hoping that ants and the whatever's in the bushes get to it. Like random acts of kindness. That's where gratitude comes into play. And you do it unconditionally. You don't do things transactionally. The only time there should be something transactional is with business. So work. But any love that you give to somebody, it should be unconditional. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just who you are. And obviously, if you don't feel like there's reciprocation in something, then of course you gotta set healthy boundaries for yourself. But make sure you don't feel resentful when you do so. That's what I'm saying. But yeah. So the point I'm getting is that there was a lot of acting going on. I had this epiphany recently, and I was just like, wow. For a while, a long time, I was being this scared kid, living in fear. But the military kind of puts you in a position where you have to take on this role. But underneath all of that armor, underneath all of the social masks that may appear like you're fearless and all that stuff, is the scared little boy that was wounded like a soldier, waiting to be rescued by his parents, and a type of love that maybe his parents had never seen themselves. So how the fuck can they give you something they've never seen, you know, consciously, you know what I'm saying? So you have to break the cycle yourself when you become a father, such as myself, and you see things come up and things get scary, and that you have to step in and be there, because that's the most important part. The most important part of parenting, I believe, is just being there. Not about being perfect, not about you know what I'm saying, being the biggest anything. Just being there. Support. Be able to support, allowing them to think, have a mind of their own thoughts, like what they want to like, and all that. But you know what I'm saying, some of us were raised a little bit differently, and you know, you become a kid a lot longer than you anticipated. But the beauty of it is when you get the epiphany, and then your mind starts to open and you see things from different perspectives, and you're able to grow the fuck up. Thoughts on Kanye West Genius documentary? Phenomenal. They did a phenomenal job. I like the point of view in which the documentary is even taken from. You know, somebody that followed this man for a lot of his life, you know what I'm saying, coming up. So he was able to see things from the outside, and it seems very humble too. Honestly, his homie that used to, you know, be the comedian, and then he just started, you know, following his father's footsteps of recording, and that was dope too, to see like his connection to his father and doing the things that his father used to do, and then him having a daughter and watching her want to be an entertainer. It's too cute. Very cute little girl. But she's probably, I think, if I'm right, she's probably like 21 now, according to the timeline. And this is the narrator. This isn't even Kanye West yet. But to see Kanye, right, when he started out, and you see that hunger, and that is what makes those first and second albums so phenomenal, is the hunger that each artist has when they're trying to get the fuck on. And Kanye was ignored. He was ignored a lot. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to take him seriously as a rapper. Now, producer, you couldn't fuck with him. You can't fuck with him, Just Blaze, DJ Premier, Ninth Wonder. There's just so many producers, hip-hop producers that, Pete Rock, shit, what the fuck? Pete Rock, so many of them that are just dope as fuck. And Kanye became one of those. And just the sped up, you know what I'm saying, like the sped up soul samples, we loved it. We miss it. Talk to you, Kanye, motherfucker. I keep putting out this alternative Donda shit. I don't need another damn Donda. Create me, I don't know, early registration, you know what I'm saying, graduation, whatever, something. Give me something with soul in it, motherfucker. Shit. So, okay, I got sidetracked because I'm a very big Kanye fan, as you can see. Passionate. But, I mean, Kanye's, his journey to getting to where he is right now, it's a thing of beauty to see. I mean, you get to see the confidence that he had, that he believed in himself. And that's what you need to make it. You gotta believe in yourself even when nobody believes in you. And that's what I found to be inspiring. And like, he just been doing music since he was younger, since he was 13. They got a little bit clip of him when he was 13 years old. You see the breakdown of the Through the Wire video, like all the clips that you see in Through the Wire. You see that, how they put that together. His connection to everybody that's in Chicago, how a nigga that was with him smiling and laughing, and then a couple minutes later he on the radio talking about like pretty much switching sides on Kanye, and that's when you know that you're about to make it. Because motherfuckers only do that for those that they envy, and because you don't talk about people doing less than you, you always talk about somebody doing more than you. You know what I'm saying? And Kanye's just the journey itself. It was just fun to see. It brought back so many memories from Air Force days. And me and Jay Philly, we were watching it over the weekend, and it was cool. And I can remember going into the shopette and while in basic training, right? And I saw that College Dropout and the Young Guns album, I think it was Better Love, whatever the fuck it was. It was Tough Love, I think is the name. Whatever the shit. Young Gun's first album was in like on display. And I was like, when we graduate, that's the first thing I'm gonna get. It's Kanye, because I love Through the Wire. Through the Wire was that I'll still play it to this day. And it amazes me that Rockefeller didn't want to fuck with him. Because his work was just phenomenal. I mean, like his raps, it stood, like I said, still stands the test of time. College Dropout, first album, is just phenomenal. And then having, J. Ivy, dope ass spoken word artist. Check him out, from Chicago, J. Ivy. The way he did on Never Let Me Down with Jay-Z, he just kicked so many powerful statements. And you know, poetry in motion. You have to love it. And there was just like the behind the scenes stuff, like wanting Scarface to get on Family Business. Like Family Business is that record. And like I said, all those tracks, honestly. I think that's what I would consider Kanye West's College Dropout as a non-skippable album, a non-skippable. And I'm sure you guys all have non-skippables in your collection. But for me, Kanye West, the College Dropout, that was one of them. And then, you know, going further, and then you see when he loses his mother, and then you start to see the shift in Kanye's behavior. And how can you blame him? This is the one person that believed in him, his mother, and he lost her on some surgery shit, I believe is what it was. Either way, he lost her. And it's hard to know who to trust when you lose the person you felt like was the only one that you could trust. And mental health spiraling. And and just wow how the money gets to you. And it gets to a lot of artists when they become bigger than they thought. And it's so weird. What I love about it, and the most inspiring thing to me, is seeing Kanye walk on a street in Chicago and nobody says anything to him, right? He couldn't do that today. And it inspires me because that's honestly how I feel a lot of times. Like when I'm, again, when indeed the God in the universe will grant me the opportunity to impact lives on a global scale. And that's because it's an aspiration for me, and believing in yourself. So, but get back, Kanye, and talking about him running for president. Yeah, it's just some wild shit. There's just some wild shit on that time. Yeah, how he's talking about the abortion, and that how his dad wanted to abort him, and the thing about his kids, and it was just a lot going on at once, and you're just like, what's happening? But what I can say about Kanye, man, is that he didn't let anything keep him from doing it. Whatever it is, you can say what you want to say about him. He just went forward, and some things worked, some things didn't. And you need that type of tenacity. The ability to just overcome what anyone says and say, fuck it. And that's why I'm inspired by Mr. West. Like I said, overall, the documentary was just, I found it to be very inspirational. It was very nostalgic and so crazy, like to see him and John Legend in the same room, and they all cool and shit. And now they don't talk to each other. talking about each other in interviews, and Talib Kweli, and him not being cool with Kanye, and him not really seeing eye to eye right now. Like, I mean, to me, that's when Kanye was at his best, when he had Mos Def, Common, John Legend, Talib Kweli, all of them around him. And it's people evolve. You're supposed to. You're supposed to evolve, man. But those moments that we had, for those of us that were either in college, in high school, middle school, whatever you were, when you heard, you know what I'm saying, late registration, when you heard college dropout, graduation, you know what I'm saying, I really just say those 3 core albums. Nothing against 808 Heartbreaks and all that stuff. That shit was dope too. But that initial stage, like graduation, was like, I've arrived. Kanye is here. He's arrived. And that was the feeling that you got, man. You were excited for a Kanye West album because you weren't sure what type of samples that you were going to get. And it just made you feel good. It really did. It really did make you feel good. But I don't want to tell too much about it. I mean, it's nothing on there. It's not like telling a fucking movie. It shit happened in real life. If you follow Kanye, you know this. And but it was cool to see him in the Dominican Republic, barefoot, making music, and just like the love that he has for hip hop, to see his growth from being a nobody, if you will, to becoming this person that's synonymous with pop culture. But I love the documentary. I love the music. And like I said, I'm a fan. I'll be a fan until forever. Really, I'm a fan of the creativity, but I do miss the Kanye with the soul samples, because I feel like that he's very much a strong suit. But the industry has changed, and we have to evolve. So I'll reminisce on the great times with my military friends and family. But yeah, documentary is dope. I think you should check it out.